Okay. So, I've reviewed my channel update video, uploaded it. It's all good. Good stuff. I've turned some lights on. That one in the back seems to be glaring a bit. So is the other one. Doesn't matter. These are not supposed to be well-produced videos. That will come with time and when I do stuff. So, first video topic, kind of something that's going to be weird to talk about. It's a downer. Depression and how it has affected me personally. I'm sure everybody wants to watch that. Doesn't matter. Like I said in the other video, I don't expect people to watch these really. That's more for me to talk about it, and then so I'm gonna get some stuff off my chest first, and then eventually, you know, after I'm tired of getting stuff off my chest, it won't just be about me. I'll just, actually talk about stuff. I just don't really know what else to talk about right now. It's been on my mind a lot recently. I've been depressed recently, and I've been depressed a lot of times in the past. That's something I struggle with a lot. So let's talk about depression in general. Depression is a weird thing because it's more or less just like a natural thing that your brain does. It's not so much like a like anger or happiness. It's something you can really define. It's something you can feel happy, you can feel angry. But with depression, it's a little different. It creeps up on you. It's not like an emotion. It's just like a state of being. And that makes it really hard to both identify and deal with. The other thing that makes depression hard to deal with is it's kind of a mixture of things. It's like a lack of emotion partially, and just it clouds your brain so bad. It makes it really difficult to really like identify what's wrong. Even it's yeah. I have a way that I like to classify depression, and it's not necessarily true, and it's not necessarily a good way of doing it, but I have this thing I call chemical depression. Um, and it came about as a result of musings about clinical depression versus non-clinical depression, I guess, because depression seems to be very not well defined, um, which makes sense because it's not a very well defined feeling, as I just fucking mentioned. Um, but yeah, my idea of chemical depression is that there's sort of two types of depression. There's depression that comes about as a result of thoughts and actual conclusions, and there's depression that comes about as a result of just random chemicals firing off in your brain and just the wrong mixture of neurotransmitters. And I don't know if that's true. I'm not a neuroscientist, but it seems to me that sometimes, and you can tell when it's the really serious, well, it's the really serious depression spats, like, you know, just isolated incidents of serious, like, depression and almost just violent depression. I call that a chemical depression, but then, now that I'm thinking about it, there's also another kind of depression that could be characterized by the wrong mix of brain chemicals, and that's like long-term depression. Um, but at the same time, I feel long-term depression is often as a result of environment and environmental factors and sort of things that you think about. And uh, I've had both at various points. Right now, I'll call it environmental depression. I think I'm going through a bit of an environmental depression as a result of just sort of being jobless and feeling worthless and um, things like that. Um, yeah, and that's probably the most common type of depression, I would think. And that's a type of depression that, in my estimation, can be cured pretty much only with therapy and action. That's a catch-22 though, because depression really takes it out of you. It makes it so that you don't feel anything, you don't want to do anything, you can't handle anything. And that's something a lot of people identify with. You know, when you talk about depression, it's just like it takes everything out of you, and that's really true, and it makes it hard to deal with. Um, yeah, right now I am unemployed. I had a job. Um, I guess it was like 3 or 4 months ago that I got fired from that job for non-attendance. But that was not like regular non-attendance. It was like instead of quitting, I just stopped showing up, which is a dumb thing to do. But it was just as a result of just things piling up and piling up and piling up. And I have anxiety issues, and I don't deal with stress well. I just let it pile up on me, and things happen. I do stupid things. Because then like a couple weeks ago, I got a job again at I guess I shouldn't be saying the names of these places, but it was a pizza place. I was delivering pizzas. I didn't really define what I was doing last time. I was working in a factory last time. Last time I had a job, I was working in a packaging factory for frozen pizzas, and it was sort of boring, long hours work. I was working 10 hours a day, 6 or 5 days a week, and at night. So it was a really tough job, and it got to me. Um, as I was saying though, more recently I got hired as a pizza delivery person, and I just like, oh man, the stress got to me immediately, and it just like pushed me over the edge. And that was not as forgiving a job for having a bad day. You know, if you're having a bad day at the factory, you can just kind of like put your head down and do your work. But at pizza delivery, that's a whole other deal. There's a lot of things you have to do. There's a lot of things you have to pay attention to. There's a lot of things, you know, you're out interacting with customers and driving on the roads, and it was bad. I got real angry, and they fired me for that, which, man, that's fair. I deserve that. And then after they fired me from that, I just went into like a pretty deep, like, environmental depression, where I was not doing anything at all. And I'm still not out of that, but it's tough, you know. Um, yeah, so this is kind of a downer vlog, but it's something personal, and it's sort of the reason why I'm starting to do these. Not the whole reason, but I think it helps a little bit to do stuff like this. I think it help with my sense of self-worth. But anyway, that's all for this time. That's my thoughts on depression, environmental depression, chemical depression, how it affects your brain, how your life affects your depression, and how your depression affects your life. So, there it is. That's about it.